Hi guys, I'm Ben from Adaptalux and welcome back to the monthly macro challenge where we set you guys a theme and you can go away and take some really lovely macro photos for a chance to win some great prizes. And we do have some very cool prizes for you this month. It's a bit of a special month, but I'll get onto that in the second half of the video. First, we need to jump over to the computer and take a look at some of November's entries. So then guys, here we are on the Adaptalux macro photography community group on Facebook. You can see here our pinned post. Last month's theme was autumn and we got an awesome response. There's lots and lots of incredibly high quality photography here, over 150 images submitted and all of them are really fantastic. There's too many to go through in little videos like this, so we're going to be picking some notable mentions and of course a winner and a runner-up. Now we've not even got to the bottom of this this list here, but you can see that there's just so many fantastic entries. Let's get started with our first notable mention. Our very first shot for today is from David, who's been photographing a skeleton seed. We were photographing skeleton leaves just a few weeks ago, but this is a skeleton seed and it really works well with autumn, with that cycle of decay, but also it works well as a standalone photograph. This is really sharp and there's a huge amount of detail in all of these capillaries of the seed, and it's finished off nicely with this little bed of green down here, as if the seed has come and landed down in the undergrowth. I'm not sure whether this has actually been photographed out in the wild or been set up maybe in the studio. David, you'll have to let us know, but either way it's a fantastic photograph. Thank you very much for your entry. Next up, we have a very familiar face with Cynthia. She's been photographing a little bit of pumpkin here, and this again is a fantastic photograph with lots and lots of detail, lots of sharp edges down here that really draw the eye around this big curve of color. It's very nicely lit with this highlight through the middle here, but bringing out all of those rich colors of the pumpkin. Cynthia's done a fantastic job just bringing this little slice to life and really making it stand out in the middle of the image. Thank you very much for your entry, Cynthia. We hope to see a lot more like this in the future. Next up, we've got a newcomer to the Adaptalux Facebook community, but he's been waiting patiently for his Adaptalux studio to arrive, and now that he's got it, he's coming out with some fantastic images. It's Randy with his copper leaf seed stalk. Now, I'm not sure what a copper leaf is, but it's certainly a very interesting plant with all of these tiny little seedlings along the length of this stalk, and it's set fantastically against this light blue background, really contrasting the reds and oranges of the copper leaf against the blue background. Again, it's fantastically sharp. Randy says he's stacked 5 images to put this together, so it's no wonder that there's so much detail, but it is a fantastic image. Thank you very much for your entry, Randy. Next up, we've got Scott's take on autumn, which is very interesting, encasing an autumnal leaf in ice. Ice being a notoriously difficult subject to photograph, Scott's pulled it off by showing all of this fantastic detail within the frozen water coming through. Because of the depth of the ice, it's really hard to get all of this detail looking sharp and crisp, as Scott's managed to do here, but he's managed to bring through some of the color of the leaf and really showcase that autumnal vibe while still keeping a lot of this detail and strange goings on in the abstract of the ice in the background. It's a very lovely photograph. It's really well done. Thank you very much for your entry, Scott. Next up, we've got Rachel, who's been using her Adaptalux studio to get a lovely glow underneath these tiny little mushrooms. I'm presuming this is an amber lighting arm coming up from underneath and giving the mushrooms a little bit of extra color, but also this mysterious glow from under the heads of the mushroom here. It's also very nicely lit on top as well, bringing a lot of this detail and sharpness through on the tops of the mushrooms, and it drops off down into the undergrowth down here really nicely. It's a very lovely photograph. Thank you very much for your entry, Rachel. For our runner-up this month, we've got Deborah's photograph here, and continuing that theme of really high sharpness images, it's really pinpoint sharp on all of these tiny little seedlings, and that makes all the difference. These seedlings are what make this photograph. It was very hard to choose between all of these lovely photographs in this month's competition, but having the addition of some extra little bits on the top of this leaf, we see these leaves, autumnal leaves, and as lovely as they are, we see them quite often. These extra little seedlings really bring it to the next level, and that's what's made it into our runner-up for this month. Very well done, Deborah, and thank you for your entry. For our winner this month, we've got Tarier, and apologies again if I've mispronounced your name, but your photograph is fantastic and well deserving of the winning spot this month. We've got again that lovely sharpness following the edge down here of the mushroom. We've got some lovely shadows on the inside of all of these little spokes of the mushroom, and it drops off down into some soft focus in the back. The water drops really make the image stand out that extra bit more, just the same as those seedlings did in our previous shot, but with the addition of some fantastic lighting, this shot really stands out amongst the crowd. We would usually see with a shot like this either some heavy shadows underneath the mushroom down here or inside the mushroom, depending on where it's been lit from, but we've got some nice even lighting, and then this little streak of darkness where the camera is aligned with all of these little I'm not sure what they're called, but the edges of the mushroom down here. It's a really fantastic image, and certainly well deserving of the winning spot. Very well done, Tarier, and thank you for your entry. Thanks again to everybody that took the time to enter, and well done again to our winners. We'll be getting your prizes out to you as soon as possible. Now we're into a new month, we're in December now, so we need a new theme and of course some new prizes. This month's theme is going to be winter. It's a really easy open theme, so you guys can interpret that however you want. Go away and take some really cool wintry themed macro photos and enter them over on the Adaptalux Facebook community group. Now this month's competition is going to be a little bit different in that we're running it actually for 2 months, so December and January together. That's just because the Christmas period and organising these things around the new year is a little bit tricky, so we're actually going to run it both through December and January. That means you've got till the end of January to submit some wintry macro photos, and that also means that we have some extra special prizes. The first prize for this month's, or this 2 months competition, is going to be an Adaptalux Control Pod Mini with a lighting arm of your choice. So that's any of our standard coloured or white lighting arms, along with a Control Pod Mini to power it. That's a really great prize. These things are not on sale yet, so as soon as we're able to ship you one, we'll be sending out a Pod Mini and a lighting arm for our first place winner. Our runner-up's going to be getting one of our Adaptalux Pro cases. Now that's usually reserved for the first prize winners, so even the runner-ups are getting slightly better prizes for this extended competition. To enter some of your own macro photos into this month's competition, all you need to do is head over to the Adaptalux Macro Photography Community Group on Facebook. You can just search for Adaptalux, or it's linked down in the description of this video as well. On the top of that group will be a pinned post from myself talking all about the competition, and you need to enter your photos as a comment on that post. You can enter as many times as you'd like with unique photos, and if you want to enter into some discussion or compliment some other photographers' work, you can hit the reply button next to one of those pictures. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys can come up with over the winter for this month's theme. It's going to be quite an interesting, wide scope for lots of interpretation. If you do need some ideas and inspiration, I will link to a couple of videos just here that might give you a head start. All that's left for you guys to do now is hit the subscribe button so that you're here at the end of January for another video just like this one, where we go through all of the entries and pick a winner. For now, that is all that I've got time for. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.